Alright, so I said I was going to build a house, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start taking all these resources over to the other village, and we're going to get something going. Of course, a lot of my motivation to get this project done is so I have a place to store all this stuff. So let's get started. Less talk, more rock moving. Alright, so I've looked around the village for a good spot for my house, and I think this is perfect. I really want to incorporate this kind of tree line into like the backyard. It'd be really sweet. I need to designate where our storage is going to go, and then kind of build the house around it. And I'm thinking having the house sort of up by the road maybe, and having a barn out here in the back, like a big barn to store materials in. So we're going to try that. We'll reconvene when I have all of my stuff in order here, and we'll get started on the build. And yeah, I definitely think I've found the source of their monster problem. Yep. Oh dear. Oh man. Alright, it's time to get started building. We've got our foundational materials here. And I've also spawn-proofed the area, so no more incidents, hopefully. And yeah, we need to make a horse hole for you. We've got a horse hole. So for this house project, I already have an idea for the shape of the house. And even the barn as well. And what I was thinking is, instead of this being like the road, I'll just incorporate this to being my driveway. We're definitely going to lean into this countryside, hillside, windswept area. We're going to be up to some yeehaw stuff around here, I promise. Also, we need to name our horse. I do have a name tag, so if you guys have any ideas on what we should name the horse, I'll definitely take those into consideration. Just put them in the just leave them in the comments. Inside the house, we're actually going to put our valuables, more functional blocks. In the barn, in the workshop area, we're going to have all of the foundational building blocks. And I'm kind of developing in my head, as I'm planning out this build, how I'm going to organize my storage for this place. Every time I do a survival playthrough of this game, usually with friends in a multiplayer setting, I'm always looking to find new ways to organize my stuff. A lot of people really enjoy the whole auto storage thing, but that's just not my thing. I'm not personally a fan of the auto storage stuff, especially because you just have so many different places to store items. I just don't want a chest for every single item, you know what I mean? Let's build the deck first. I think that's a good place to start. We'll probably need to build this up. Let's mow the lawn. These guys seem to be talking about something. Wonder if they're talking about us. Work on this area a little bit. Why don't you like come down the driveway. Like you've got the porch here. Oh yeah, this is gonna be sweet. I think we're actually going to build this into the hill. So I'm going to take these away. I think we can make something cool with it. Just let me cook. I'm going to go with 3 high for this house. I don't want it to be super big. I understand how weird this might seem to build the deck first. I think the front yard, like entrance to this house, I think it's going to be its main feature visually, so I want to make sure I get it right. The house is going to kind of do one of these numbers. I guess what we can do is lay down the foundation for the main structure, and yeah, we'll use stone bricks for this. That just makes sense. I'm not going to make the shape of this house very complicated. This should be big enough. Not super big, but it's definitely bigger than their houses. But, that's not the point. They don't know it yet, but they're gonna get a similar treatment. I'm not gonna be the only one with a big house around here. In fact, I'll probably make bigger houses for some of the more important people in town. But that'll come at a much later time. Also, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to dig out the basement. I'm going to thank myself later for doing that. Making a basement for a house is kind of like one of the first things you do anyway, right? Okay, so now that we have the foundation set and the basement made, it's time to put in the first floor. Kind of lay out the rooms, and then I'll build up to the second floor. Oh man, he's... Bro. We might have a basement dweller. Alright, we're gonna go with oak planks for the first floor. We're actually going to use slabs for this. Actually saves on material costs, but we also it'll be a nice like kind of lower ceiling for the basement. So I'm going to treat this basement more like a cellar. I don't think I'm actually going to finish it out, but there's going to be stuff down there. Don't worry. I'm definitely going to go ahead and do this now. I am not we're definitely going to spawn proof this. You know, I plan on having a mob farm around here, but I don't want that mob farm to be in my basement. So we're going to light this up before we complete the first floor. Alright, now that we have the first floor laid out, we need to assign where the rooms are going to go. I'm going to lay this out like a normal house that you would imagine. There'll be like some sort of living room, living space, kitchen maybe somewhere. I was thinking maybe the kitchen would go here and the front window. Have a nice view of the village from, you know, you were washing dishes looking out the window and say hello to Farmer Bill over there. I don't know. I don't know if that's his name, but we need some sort of material for the interior walls. I'm thinking some sort of log pattern maybe. Even though we have a lot of materials, we're kind of limited on what sort of palette we have to work with here, which is fine. That's actually kind of, I like that. We're going to give stripped oak a chance. This could be our staircase. Okay, so we have kitchen, dining room, stairs leading up to the second floor. We've got our entryway, like we'll put our door right here. I think I've changed my mind. I think the kitchen is still going to go over here. And this will be actually some sort of garage. Oh. Okay. That was a close one. Feel like I don't really care that much about it, but I actually haven't died yet. And that would have been a really unfortunate fall. Oh, jeez. See, I knew that hole was there, too. That's crazy. Oh, we have leads now. Awesome. There we go. These guys think they're moving in. That's not happening. This game, man. Get in there. I don't really have any glass, so... Trapdoors just make everything better. The other villagers seem to want to help me out. They've been hanging around the job site for a while and definitely not getting in my way. Alright, well, now that the main structure of the building is done, it's time to work on the property itself. I'm not going to get into too much landscaping yet because I need access to more bone meal and moss blocks and more foliage types of things. I need leaves, so we're not quite ready to work on the landscaping too much yet. You know, we can at least shape up the property and make it all prim and proper. And also give these guys an idea of what's mine. Just some really interesting impossible generation. Usually path blocks, if there's something above them, they just immediately turn into dirt. But, you know, since it generated like this, it remains. However, this whole thing's going to go, so. Just figured I'd point that out, because it's kind of interesting. Alright, so we're going to curve this path down the hill a little bit, and just make it a little bit more interesting than this 90-degree turn here, so. So this serves kind of like a property line. I'm not trying to like actually keep things out, but just as a visual. I might complete the fence with some more details at some point, but we're not going to do that right now. When you're designing builds like this, you got to take it in parts. I understand that there's a ton of detail that I want to do for this build, but I can't be overwhelmed with, you know, the possibilities of all the stuff I can do, at least for detailing. Well guys, with that, that's the end of this episode. Yeah, there's a lot more work to do. I'm going to do a full interior to this place. We're going to make it look real nice. Thanks for coming along today and watching this whole process. It appears that the other villagers seem to approve of what's going on here, so I'm just going to keep cooking. And thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.